Right, so I'm joined by club analyst and goalkeeper coach Brodie Bradford-Thom on the occasion of your last game for Radford today, and it was a 5-4 penalties defeat to Godmanchester Rovers. What did you think of the game from an analyst's perspective?
So I think there was a plan from sort of both teams to use the overlaps. Both teams had quite aggressive fullbacks. I think that the referee early in the game sort of let some of the decisions slide, and I think that sort of later on maybe meant that it became a bit more fragmented. So you know, when you're sort of going up for headers and being a bit more lenient with how much you can push into, how much you can sort of be physical players, that kind of went early on, which can sometimes make the game flow better. But I think in this case it probably made it a bit scrappy towards the end, because obviously you can't really go back on those decisions. I think generally speaking our overall play was better. I think we had better chances in the game. There wasn't, you know, maybe one or two times where they broke on the counter attack where they got a couple of chances, but overall I think the run of play was in our favour. And I think generally speaking we just struggled sometimes when we got towards their low block, when they were sort of playing all their back four in their box. We slowed down the ball a little bit too much, especially in the wide and sort of half spaces around the box, and that meant that we couldn't really penetrate that. Most of our better chances came on the break. So when the game sort of opened up, we sort of looked the better team, but I think it's kind of got a bit scrappy towards the end. But yeah, I think overall, I think, you know, penalties are a bit of a gamble. You know, given that I think it was 8 penalties for each team in the end, that there is, you know, we couldn't have asked for much more. We went toe to toe, and to be fair, I think, you know, we were the better team over the 90 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. We had a fair few chances in the game, like Kyle early on and Anton coming on late on. And did any of the individual performances stand out for you?
I mean, as I said, I think the fullbacks, we looked like we were quite creative in terms of when the fullbacks pushed on. We managed to get into a lot of space, we managed to take on their players and sort of really progress the ball well in those wide areas. But I think overall, you know, there wasn't any clear-cut individuals that, you know, really were above or below what the rest of the team were doing. I think it was just you know, it was a very good collective performance in general, but I think it was just we perhaps could have been a bit more aggressive in the final third.
Yeah, and obviously it's the 4th time that we've gone to penalties in all cups this season, and many of those have been against Step 5 teams. So how do you sort of assess our entire cup run? I
mean, I think the positives we take from it is that we've played, I think, 5 Step 5 teams this year, and no Step 5 team has beaten us in 90 minutes. I think, you know, Rugby Anstey beat us in the replay, but we drew away from home. You know, every other game that we've played against Step 5 teams with over 90 minutes, we've matched or bettered them. So I think that's an incredible testament to where the squad is at this point in time. I think we've got an incredible amount of ability in the team, and I think, you know, I think we just need to push on a little bit more. I think we just need to make that final step, get into Step 5, and you know, push on from there. I think that's the next rung on the ladder.
Absolutely, yeah. You were expressing your best wishes to all the players in the clubhouse just now, and how do you assess your time at Radford overall?
I mean, for me, it's been a massive learning curve, and I think that's testament to the people that have been around me. I think that, you know, I came into the team as someone thinking, I'll use sort of data to help people learn more about the sport, but actually I think I've probably learned more than anyone else has, just being involved and being a part of this club. And you know, there's so many people around me that have supported in that. The whole management team, you know, they've taken me under their wing. They've, you know, it's not been a case of where I've been sort of babied or put in a situation where, you know, anyone is you know, sort of catering to me or any of that. It's, you know, people have been firm but honest, and that's all I could have asked for at that point. You know, I was on the club committee as well, and hands down, like, you know, they all want what is best for the club. So Bob and the entire committee, I say thank you to all of them. You know, all the players and all the fans as well. They've all taken me as part of this club since I walked in the door, and I couldn't have asked for anything else. And I wouldn't be where I am now in terms of what I'm potentially, going on to do and trying to push forward if it wasn't for this opportunity. So, everything that comes my way in terms of, my work in football, I hope to, someday do it professionally as an analyst, but it all started here. Do you know what I mean? And there's nothing that can ever take that away, and nothing will ever take away the opportunity I was given to do that. So I could say nothing but thank you. And I think, I'm leaving the group on a high. They are a team that is going to go on to do well this season. I think, given that we've progressed, we're better than we are last year. I think that there's only more to come, and I think they're on the right direction. I think they just need to keep doing what they're doing, keep their heads down, keep working, and they'll have every success in the future.
Yeah,
and they deserve it as well.
Mm-hmm. And just for those unfamiliar, what is next for you now?
So I'm currently working towards basically doing performance analysis with Base's first team, Baseford United. So I'm going to be going in to do my performance analysis work with the Baseford first team. Obviously here I've been doing goalkeeper coaching, I've been doing my performance work, I've done media stuff with you and Pete previously. It's going to be very different sort of having that sole task on match day. But it's something that I relish, and I really want to sort of dive headfirst into it, put as much energy as I can, and really push it forward. I think that's the only thing I would say is I'm not leaving this club on any bad blood. It is purely because I want to push myself as much as I physically can in that role. And since I've sort of announced the news, I've not had anything but support from the people around me, and that that's so heartwarming, because when the management are saying, this is great for you, go ahead and do it, that they've got sort of like your good intentions at heart, which is, again, incredible.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think I speak on behalf of everyone at the club really when I say thank you very much for everything, and best wishes for it in future.
Thank you. Well, I'll definitely be here in the future. I'm not going to be a stranger, so gone, but never forever. So it's definitely a Radderati for the rest of the time.
Brilliant. Thank you very much for joining us, mate.
Cheers.